Okay guys, I'm back. Today's video is going to be about making bows. I did some pre-cutting here because it's not always easy for me to cut with the arthritis in my hands on camera. Just kind of slows the process down. But anyway, we're going to start off, I'm just going to put these aside, with layered bows. Okay. What I do with the layered bows is I start off, it depends on the width of the fabric, but I start off with maybe a 10 or 12 inch on the bottom, and then each one comes in like 2 inches, an inch on either side, as you can see here with the second layer. And then again and again, try to keep layered bows, the ones that are on top and shorter, maybe less, the lesser of the widths. Okay, so with this, I'm just sort of lining it up. I sort of pre-did this so I wouldn't have too much trouble with my hands. So anyway, but line them up nicely, and I'm gonna show you that you should cut the tails. And what I usually do, I like the dovetails, everybody to each his own, but I just hold them together, fold them in half, and just cut your V from that. And that's your first layer. And you have nice dovetails. Second layer, same thing. Match up the bottoms, the ends, fold as close to as in half as you can. Cut a V from the inside out. There you go, 2 nice dovetails. Yeah, and again, you're lining them up where you have similar amounts on either end, and hopefully one's not bigger than the other or wider than the other. They're smaller as they go up from the bottom. And this is our third one. And these really are very simple bows. And of course, this particular kind of bow is better to use with a wider ribbon. Smaller ribbon, you might want to try to use one of the other techniques I'm going to show you. You know. Nonetheless, here we go. We got all our ribbons together. Okay. Then what I try to do is I just sort of line up as best I can, and then I just start sort of fanning, I guess you would say, right? In the center, best you can. Doesn't need to be perfect. And you sort of want the outsides to fold outward. Gives it a little more fullness. Okay, and then we're just going to take that as best we can and hold it in the middle, wrap it. Now you could also put something on these, some kind of decor, button, anything like that. Okay, I sort of take it around to the back, even up the ends as best I can, and just give them a twist, just like you would a bread tie or something to that effect. Okay, then you can worry later on exactly what you want to do with this. You can trim it, you can use it to attach it to whatever you're doing, wrap it around, say a wreath or something to that effect. And then you just kind of want to give it a little zhuzh, to your liking, and of course grateful is this way, so we should upright it. So that's one very simple bow, and I just call that the stackable bow. Now here I do a much more sort of fuller, more luxurious stackable bow, and I'll show you again how to do that. Again, we're cutting our dovetails. Now these are going to be sets of 3 as you go shorter and shorter. I got my long ones here. These you may have to cut each end together to dovetail because we have more thickness. Okay, so, and There you go. Dovetail on that end. Dovetail on this end. Again, we're just lining it up as best we can. Okay. Then what I generally do with these is just give them a zhuzh off center. You know, 3. Just think of it as like a asterisk, maybe something like that. Okay. So you have 3 different sections kind of going there. We're going to do our dovetails on these. Got to make sure my ribbon's all going in the same direction. So the lace is down on a couple of these. Again, line them up, cut your tails. You can also just cut them on an angle, whichever you prefer. Again, we've just shortened each layer, you know, like 2 inches, an inch on either end. So yeah, as you can see, this is giving me fits with my arthritis just to get through the lace. So anyway, and I think we're going to do these separately because it's not wanting to cut through the lace. And of course, these aren't the best scissors either, because once again today I'm working downstairs and not upstairs where all the good stuff is. So we're just using what we got. Sometimes it just works out that way. And again, we're just taking each layer and stacking it where there's, you know, on top, lining it up, and making ourselves a little asterisk over top of the ribbon below. Okay, so now on this one, we're just going to kind of sort of do the same thing, but a little less, you know, gathering on this one. And again, tied in the middle. Again, you could add a little decoration to this or not, but again, I'm just pulling it, tying it in the back, and just getting it as tight as I can. You know, go around a few times, make sure it's good and tight before you try to pull out your pieces and feather it a little bit like I'm doing here. Okay, and then again, you can use this to attach, you know, use this to attach to something, or, you know, cut it off, glue it, many different things you can do, but that's just a fuller version of that. And they, you know, they're for the bigger things too. You know, things you would want to put bigger bows on, you know. Now I'll show you a smaller version. I use these a lot of times, you know, pipe cleaners, these for holiday ones. And I'm going to show you this particular kind of a bow. This is what I do with, you know, full but smaller scale bow. Is I sort of start off with a tail crisscrossing over, a little bit of length. Okay. Then you're just going to keep wrapping this up to 5 times, full wrap. Okay. I'm just praying I got enough ribbon on this. Here's 2. Oh, no, I don't. I do not. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, guess I'm out of Christmas ribbon. Have to start digging through my stuff. All right. So maybe what I'll try is to make this a little smaller, and instead of going long ways, I'll go short ways and give myself a smaller tail. And you can see here, what I'm doing again. Okay, one. Oh, we went the wrong way. We're still going the wrong way. Okay, there we go. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay. There we go. And we want, there's your tail. We're going to wrap this way instead of the long way. We'll get a little more wrappings out of that at least. And we get pretty good to close to a match-up tail. But if you really want this to be full, I think that was three, maybe 4 times. But it's pretty full. Then you're going to just grab this in the middle. You're sort of going to line up your layers as best you can. All these layers. Underneath is where the tail's coming out. But line it up inside. And then on top is where the last layer is coming out. And the tail. Now you're going to gather it in the middle. You're going to hold all these as best you can. And then you're just going to cut a slit in the middle on one side, but do not go all the way to the center. Just a slit. Of course, these are going to give me fits. Okay. All right. And this. Then you're going to take, after you cut your slits, you're going to take through those 2 slits your piece. Now, you can use this or another pipe cleaner or something that matches. You can even cut a piece of ribbon and tie it through, or cord or anything. And then you're just going to gather together those 2 ends. Make sure you don't cut through all the way in the middle, just that they're catching those little slits. Again, you're going to tighten it up as much as you can, so you're not losing any bits, or it gives you a little more pliability. We're going to cut our dovetails. This one turned out a little longer, which is all fine. We can do that. There's no such thing as perfection. A bow is a bow. It's really all about what you like and what works. It's just for your own pleasure. Now we got our 2 dovetails pretty much lined up there. Now we're going to take our inner bow. This is also better to do, by the way, with your wired edge bows. Okay, then you're just going to go one this way, one that way. Poof them out. Pull them a little maybe towards the center where you get some fullness. I'm going to put obviously our tails need to go down. Should be hanging down from the bow. Pull this out, stretch it out a little bit with that wire. Pull this one down. This one forward, and give them a little zhuzh. So that's probably not the best bow, but it's the basic idea. Like I said, you'll get so much more fullness out of an additional 4th or 5th wrap. This again was just 3 wraps. You can see we just have 3, but you can squish it together, or you can, move it all around, make it however you would like it. A 4th way to make a bow is going to be, here again, we're going to take some ribbon. This is just a nice big bow, and you're just going to crisscross it. If you see what I'm doing here, you're just crisscrossing it. Okay, see, you've got tails. You can make the tails longer if you would like. Okay, and again, you're just bending it a little bit, folding it in half, folding it up, just to give it a little zhuzh. Now this one, I'm just going to take another piece of ribbon, and tie it real nice and tight, very nice and tight. Give it a knot. Then we can pull one side a little, you know, this side appears to be a little shorter than the other side, and that side appears to have a longer tail. So we're just pulling and zhuzhing a little bit to get that nice puffiness that we want. We want to pull our tails down a little bit more this way. Again, you can tie this around something. It's in the back. You can use anything, wire, your chenille ties, whatever you would like. Again, we're going to do our dovetails. Super simple. There you have it. There's your pretty, and you just fluff it up. Again, wire ribbon works very well for these bigger, nicer kind of bows. I honestly don't think I don't have anything here that doesn't have some kind of wire or stiffness to it. So obviously I would recommend that. Here's another one I'm going to do, which is just a velvet bow, doing the same thing. Just to give you an idea that you can use different fabrics. This one's got sort of stiffness on the edge, but not necessarily wire on the edge. But you can see with a nice black tie. And then again, we're just zhuzhing a little here and there. Pull it. One side smaller, just pull it through. One side's too big, just pull the other side through. Got a nice big pretty bow. And again, same idea as the last one. Just zhuzhing different fabric, just to give you an idea that different fabrics will work the same way. And still give you a nice pretty bow. Okay, just again, turn, because this is one-sided and it's velvet, you can sort of twist it in there, get it going the way you want, as well as fluffing. Now, I do believe there is wire in the back of that, but nonetheless, again, another nice pretty bow. You could also double these two up, right? This one's a little bit smaller underneath, and tie them two together. Give you a nice little bow. Okay. And last but not least, this is just a nice, I'm going to call it 3 feet. I didn't measure it. I just sort of took off the last little bit. I'm sort of doing this with the last little bit of ribbon, a bunch of spools that I had that, you know, in my little stash to work with. So I wasn't really doing a lot of measuring. I'm just cleaning up some of the extra spools that I have laying around while I'm getting close to the holidays. This one, you're just going to take sort of a third and a third. Like you're going to have a third of a tail and a third of a tail and then a third in the middle. For some of you, you might want a tighter bow and a longer tail. But I'm just going to fold this on the end. And then I'm just going to tie these two around each other. Just like you would do if you were tying your shoes or making a bow. Okay? And then again, you're just, if it turns out too big of a bow, more of a bow, and it doesn't zhuzh the way you want it to, pull on your tails. It'll come through and make a smaller bow with longer tails and look more accurate, I guess is the word. So here we are with a nice pretty bow. Again, on this, we're going to have to twist it a little. This is where your wire ribbon comes in handy. And here we go. Another nice bow made that way. So, again, I hope I didn't miss anything or miss the camera, showing you all the different ways that you can do it. This would also probably fare better if I had cut a better slit with the didn't have good scissors down here. Here you are with the Grateful on top. These, so cute. And with the multiple layers. Like I said, I do 3, kind of like an asterisk kind of thing. Looking nice. So, there you go. Hope that helped you. Good to see you guys again. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below if you found anything you like or have better ways of doing things.